Stella, why are you packing these used pads and where are you going with them?
You asked me how I made my money. Now I want to show you. Don't be scared. Shine your eyes, no dulling.
Stella, this thing you're doing, it doesn't look normal.
Normal never made anybody rich. You want to keep eating Gary every night? Or you want to upgrade? Follow me.
They moved through the city like girls who had already made up their minds. Traffic noise, street lights flickering, loud music from a nearby bar. Life was moving, but their own life felt stuck. Amanda kept looking around.
This place, where are we even going? Where broke people don't survive.
Stella didn't say anything. She just kept walking. They entered a narrow street. Dark, too quiet. The kind of place where even dogs don't bark. Amanda stopped walking. Stella, I'm not comfortable with this. Stella turned slowly. Comfort has kept you poor since. That hit hard. Very hard. Beauty nodded immediately. She's right. You always overthink everything. That's why your life is still like this. Amanda clenched her fists, but she kept walking. Then they reached it. A small, old building. No signboard, no light outside, but the door was slightly open, like it was waiting. Stella pushed it gently. Come. Inside was worse. Dim red light. A strange smell. Not dirty, but not normal either. Amanda's heartbeat started racing.
I've been expecting you.
Baba, we need money. Plenty money to come out of poverty. In dollars, please.
Young girls, always in a hurry.
What is this place? What do you want from us?
You're the only one here that is still asking questions. Baba, ignore her.
She will adjust.
She just needs to see results.
Every step felt heavier than the last. He looked at the nylon bag in Stella's hand. You came prepared. Stella nodded proudly. Yes, Baba. He took the bag, opened it, looked inside, then nodded slowly. Good. Very good. Amanda's stomach turned. What is inside that bag, Stella? Stella didn't answer. She just looked straight ahead. The man dropped the bag on a small table, then turned to them. You want money? He paused slightly, then continued. But do you understand the cost? Beauty stepped forward immediately. Anything. Stella followed. Anything. All eyes turned to Amanda. Her throat dried up. What kind of cost? The man smiled again. This time, darker. The kind you can never take back. Beauty didn't even hesitate. We're ready. Stella nodded. We're tired of suffering. The man looked at Amanda. You? Amanda looked at Stella, then Beauty, then around the room. Her instincts were screaming. Something was wrong, very wrong. But then she remembered. The landlord shouting, the empty account balance, the hunger, the shame. Slowly, she nodded. I'm ready. The man turned his back to them. Good. He picked something from the table. Something small, sharp. And then he said, Tonight, your lives will change forever. But Amanda didn't know that some changes don't come with blessings. They come with consequences. And once you cross that line, there is no going back. The man dropped the small blade on the table. 3 of you came, but only 1 of you understands what she's doing. Amalia's heart skipped. What do you mean? The man pointed at Stella. You, step forward. Stella obeyed immediately. No hesitation, like she had done this before.
What? You didn't tell us that! If I told you, would you come?
So you already know the process.
Yes, Baba.
This is not right, Stella. Why didn't you tell us the truth?
Because truth doesn't move people. Results do.
Beauty laughed softly. That one is correct. Amanda shook her head. No, this is not normal. We should go. She turned toward the door, but it slammed shut on its own. Hard. You cannot walk in and walk out the same way. Every opportunity has a door, but not every door opens twice, the man said. Beauty's confidence started shaking a little. Baba, we said we are ready. Just tell us what to do. The man looked at all three of them. You want money in dollars? He pointed at the bag. You brought what is required. Then he pointed at Stella. You brought experience. Then slowly, he pointed at Amanda. You brought something more valuable. Amanda's chest tightened. What do you mean? He smiled. Innocence. Stella quickly looked away. Beauty frowned. Innocence, Ke? Baba, we all just want money. The man shook his head. No, the system does not work that way. He turned to Stella. You didn't explain to them? Stella remained silent. What explain? Amanda snapped. The man spoke calmly. For money to come, something must be exchanged. Beauty nodded impatiently. Yes, now, we understand that part. The man's eyes darkened. No, you don't. He stepped closer to Amanda. The first time is always the most valuable. Amanda's breathing became uneven. Beauty's smile faded. Sacrifice, as in what exactly? Something that belongs to you that cannot be replaced, he said. Amanda shook her head immediately. No, I'm not doing this. She rushed to the door, pulled it, but it was locked. Open this door. Her voice cracked. Stella spoke quietly behind her. It's too late. Amanda turned sharply. You knew about this? Yes, Stella replied. Beauty stepped back slowly. Wait, are you saying one of us has to? The man interrupted. Not one of you. They all looked at him. Each of you. Amanda screamed. No! Beauty's voice followed. This is madness! Stella stood still. Not shocked, not confused, just quiet. The man raised his hand slightly. Relax, it is not death. Amanda's voice trembled. What do you want from us? The man looked directly at her. Your future. Beauty shook her head. I don't understand. The man explained slowly. Once the exchange is done, wealth will come. He paused. But peace will not. Amanda felt tears burning her eyes. No, I don't want it. I don't want this kind of money. She turned to Stella again. Let's go. We can still leave. Stella didn't move. Instead, she said something that chilled the room. I've already done mine. What did you just say? Stella nodded slowly. That's why I'm no longer broke. Amanda looked at her like a stranger. You sacrificed something? What did you give? Stella looked at both of them, then said, my ability to ever be loved genuinely. Men come, money comes, everything comes, but love never stays. Beauty covered her mouth. Oh my God. Stella continued. That's the price I paid. Amanda's voice broke. This is evil. This is not money. This is a curse. The man corrected her immediately. No. He smiled. It is a choice. Then he turned to Beauty. And you, what are you willing to lose? Beauty was shaking now. Her earlier confidence gone. I don't know. Then he looked at Amanda. And you, what is poverty worth to you? Amanda's mind was spinning. Rent, hunger, embarrassment, struggle. Then she looked at Stella. Rich, dressed well, living good, but empty. That's when the real battle started, inside her. And then Amanda said something unexpected. If I say no, what happens? The man smiled. You go back to your life. Hope flashed. Then he added, but you will remember this moment every time you suffer. That hit deeper than anything. Beauty looked at Amanda. Amanda answered Stella. Stella didn't say anything, but her eyes said everything. Choose wisely. The man placed the blade back on the table. Decide. And for the first time that night, nobody spoke. Then suddenly, Beauty stepped forward. "I'll do it." Amanda turned sharply. "What? Beauty, are you mad?" Beauty's eyes were shaking, but her voice stayed firm. "I'm tired, Amanda. I'm tired of pretending everything is okay when it's not." Amanda grabbed her hand. "We can still leave." Beauty pulled her hand away. "And go back to what? Begging? Borrowing? Watching others live the life we want?" Silence. Beauty turned to the man. "What exactly do I have to give?" The man smiled slowly. "Good." He walked around her, studying her. Then he said, "You will lose your joy. You will have everything money can buy, but nothing will ever make you truly happy again." Beauty's face stiffened. No excitement, no satisfaction, no fulfillment. Amanda shook her head violently. "No, Beauty, don't do this. What is money without happiness?" Beauty laughed softly. "People are already unhappy and still broke. At least I'll be rich." That line hit like fire. Stella closed her eyes briefly. She knew that logic. She had used it too. The man placed the blade in Beauty's hand. "Once you agree, there is no reversal." Beauty looked at the blade. Her hand was shaking now, but she didn't drop it. Instead, she said, "I accept." The room went silent. Then suddenly, the candle flames in the room flickered violently. Wind rushed through, but no window was open. Amanda screamed, "Stop this!" But it was already happening. Beauty's body jerked slightly. Her face tightened. Then, slowly, her expression changed. Flat, empty. She dropped the blade, looked around. Amanda rushed to her. "Beauty, talk to me." Beauty looked at her. "I'm fine." But she didn't sound fine. She sounded disconnected. The man smiled. "It is done." Amanda stepped back in horror. No, what have you done to her?" The man didn't answer. Instead, he pointed to the table, and there it was, a bag, full, stuffed, dollar notes, clean, fresh, real. Beauty walked to it, picked it up. No excitement, no shock, just normal, like it meant nothing. Amanda's chest tightened. "This is not normal. This is not normal." Then suddenly, the man turned to Stella. "Your turn again." Stella frowned. "I've already done mine." The man nodded. "Yes, but you brought them." Amanda looked at Stella. "What does that mean?" The man's voice dropped. "Every referral comes with a bonus." Amanda froze. Her eyes widened slowly. "Stella, what is he saying?" Stella didn't speak. Amanda stepped back slowly. No, don't tell me." Her voice cracked. "You brought us here for this?" Stella's eyes filled slightly. "I needed more." That was it. Amanda shouted, "You used us?" Beauty didn't react. She was already gone emotionally. The man clapped once. "Excellent." Then he turned to Amanda. "And now, the final decision." Amanda shook her head. "No, I'm not doing anything." The man smiled. "You don't need to, because your friend already made a request on your behalf." Amanda's body went cold. "What request?" "She chose your sacrifice." Amanda screamed, "Stella!" Stella broke down. "I'm sorry, I didn't have a choice." Amanda's voice trembled with rage. "You had a choice. You chose money over me." The man raised his hand. "Enough." Then he looked at Amanda. "Your friend has chosen that you lose your freedom. You will live, but your life will never be yours again." Amanda's legs gave way. She fell to the ground. No, please." She crawled towards Stella. "Undo it, please, I beg you." Stella was crying now, but she didn't move because she knew it was already done. The city was still alive. Cars moving, people laughing, life going on. But inside that room, 3 lives had just been rewritten. Forever. Morning came, but it didn't feel like morning. It felt heavy. They stepped out of the building. No one spoke. No one looked at each other. Then it started. Phones vibrating, one after the other. Beauty checked hers first. Her account balance had changed. 23,000 naira to $18,000. She stared at it, but no reaction. Stella checked hers. $42,000. Her lips trembled, but not from joy. Amanda didn't check. She was just standing there. Something inside her felt missing. "Let's go," Stella said. Days passed. Money entered their lives like flood. Clothes, phones, apartments, luxury. Everything came fast. Too fast. Beauty moved into a new apartment. Beautiful, clean, expensive. She sat on the couch. No smile, no excitement, just staring. She opened the package. Designer shoes. Still nothing. She went out. Clubs, restaurants, people around her. Music loud, lights flashing. But inside her, nothing. Someone tried to make her laugh. She forced a smile. It disappeared instantly. She whispered to herself, "What is wrong with me?" But deep down, she already knew. Stella's life was different. Men came, good ones, serious ones, but every single one left. Some stopped calling, some changed suddenly, some cheated without reason. One night, she sat alone, looking at her phone. No messages. No one stayed. Tears rolled down her face. She remembered the man's words. Love will never stay. Amanda was worse. She tried to go home. Her house didn't feel like hers. Her room felt unfamiliar. Her body felt controlled. One day, she woke up somewhere she didn't plan to be. Another day, she found herself doing something she never agreed to. Her life was moving, but she wasn't in control. Not my life. Weeks passed. Money kept increasing, but peace kept decreasing. Then it happened. Beauty sat in front of a mirror, looking at herself. She picked up her phone, called Stella. "I think I made a mistake." Stella laughed weakly. We all did. Amanda didn't check. She was just standing there. Something inside her felt missing. Then one night, all three of them got the same message. Unknown number. And somehow, all three of them showed up again. Same building, same door. Because now they understood something. The money was never free. And the story was not over. The door closed behind them. This time, nobody was confused. They knew. The man sat quietly, watching. Beauty spoke first. "I want it reversed." Amanda stepped forward. "I want my life back." Then Stella spoke, voice shaking for the first time. "We made a mistake. I made a mistake." The man stood slowly. "You want freedom?" All three nodded. "Everything that was taken must return to one source," the man said. Amanda's eyes narrowed. Beauty froze. Slowly, they both turned to Stella. Stella stepped back. No, don't look at me like that." The man's voice dropped. "The one who brought others carries the weight." That was it. Stella shook her head violently. "No, that's not fair." Amanda stepped forward. "Fair?" Her voice broke with anger. "You dragged us here." Beauty added, "You lied to us." Stella cried, "I just wanted us to be rich." Amanda shouted, "At what cost?" The man placed the blade on the table again. But this time, no one touched it. He looked at Stella. "Your price was love. So now you will carry everything." Stella dropped to her knees. "No, please, I'll return the money." The man shook his head. "You cannot return what has already changed you." Stella crawled toward Amanda. "Please, help me." Amanda didn't move. Beauty turned away. This time, no one was saving Stella. The man raised his hand. I take it back. I take it all back. But too late. Her body froze. Her eyes widened, like her soul was being stretched. Amanda stepped back in shock. Beauty covered her mouth. Stella fell to the ground, shaking. Her mind couldn't hold it. The man spoke calmly. "You are free," he said to Amanda and Beauty. The door opened. They didn't wait. They ran. Out, into the night, into their lives, free. Behind them, Stella's voice echoed, broken, distorted, fading. Days passed. Amanda woke up. Her life was hers again. Beauty felt joy. Everything was back, except one thing. They both avoided talking about that night, because deep down, they knew, somewhere, Stella was still alive, but not whole. Beauty and Amanda went to look for the real hustle,